So our final trend will be by Jane, and number 10, and it's called longevity residences.
And I can put that clicker down now. Okay, so my trend is called longevity residences. Healthspan finally hits home. And so we know longevity has been the biggest buzzword in the wellness industry for lately, but it's really belonged to kind of wellness retreats, biohacking labs, or luxury expensive health clinics. What we're seeing now is that there's this new frontier for longevity that's real estate. So we're not just talking about communities with nice gyms and good air filters, but we're talking about homes and communities that are designed to actively help people live longer, healthier, better lives through the integration of things like preventative medicine, personalized diagnostics, biohacking, and AI-driven health tools in the home, in the community. So it makes sense, right? Because while these clinics might be a great catalyst, a great place to start, they might be inspiring, real change doesn't happen on vacation, right? It happens on a Tuesday in your kitchen, in your bedroom, in your place that you live. So that's where these longevity residences come in. So longevity residences really build on the foundation of wellness real estate. And that's a category that we at the Global Wellness Institute first identified back in 2018, and which we're intimately familiar with. I think, as Susie mentioned earlier, for those of you who don't know, we host a whole wellness real estate symposium here in New York in May. It's a whole day where we talk about nothing but this. It's fascinating, and I invite you all back. But wellness real estate incorporates things like clean air and water, natural light, biophilic design, movement, social connection, things like that. But what we're seeing is that this development of kind of a subgroup underneath that wellness real estate umbrella that takes things a step further. Again, integrating all this kind of preventative medicine, diagnostics, things like that into the fabric of everyday living so that these longevity tools actually become part of the infrastructure. So I'm just gonna give you a few examples of how this is playing out right now. Most of these places are still in development. They don't actually exist yet, right? So this is why we're seeing this come up, and it's kind of an exciting trend because of that. So you've got global players like The Estate or Centagio building what they describe as full longevity ecosystems, where you've got diagnostics, care, design, and lifestyle are all connected. Your health data follows you around if you go to a different branch of these places, right? You may have heard of The Estate, founded by Sam Nazarian, hospitality entrepreneur, alongside Tony Robbins, Richard Adias, and Mark Anthony. They've got really ambitious global plans. So they're gonna open 15 residences by 2030 in places like St. Kitts, the UK, Italy, Switzerland, and also the US. So that's coming up, that's in the pipeline. In Australia, there's a fascinating place called Elysium Fields in Melbourne that's being developed. It's this large-scale, multi-billion-dollar residential development with an on-site reverse aging medical clinic. So residents have access to things like MRIs, brain imaging, and blood analysis as kind of part of their everyday lives. Closer to home here in Utah, near Park City, there's a place called Velvaere. It's a wellness community, but they've now partnered with preventative health company Fountain Life so that they're giving their residents access to all of Fountain Life's services, early disease detection, precision diagnostics, alongside all these very high-tech AI-integrated homes, and they have things like in-home recovery spaces with the Escape robotic massage. So that's the kind of place you can look at. In the Middle East, we've got Shah Emirates developing this whole residential island alongside their medical wellness clinic. And if you don't know Shah, they have a very well-respected medical wellness clinic. They've got a long-term ambition of creating a future blue zone there in the Middle East. So what's driving all this? Three things. First, longevity has become actionable, right? So science, diagnostics, and AI have turned aging from something abstract into something measurable and personalized. Second, the economics are enormous. Investors, developers, tech billionaires, they're all pouring money into longevity as the next major frontier. And then third, there's been this mindset shift among consumers, right? So people are living longer, but then they also realize that they want to live better for longer. And real estate is just becoming the next delivery system for that future. So one important caveat, in addition to the fact that all these places are still in development, they also live mostly at the luxury end of the market, right? So these are super high-end, high-cost developments. But we've seen this before. As Susie pointed out, wellness started in luxury spas. And then we've seen that trickle down into workplaces, into schools, into affordable housing. And really, the real opportunity ahead isn't just for luxury longevity. It's applying those principles to the other 99% of people. Ultimately, where we live shapes how we sleep, how we move, how we eat, how we connect, and how we age, which is why we are seeing this whole new category.